a queen in all my glory, writing my own story. Bow down, world, and see my reign.
Hey there, welcome back. This is Danielle with A Walk in Her Sneakers, and I am super excited for this episode because we are going to talk about the bariatric surgery. This is what led to my complete weight loss, and I got to meet my goal. So I am super ecstatic over this episode in general. I do want to share this super cute outfit. It is from Fabletics in their color Strawberry Milkshake. And reason I am wearing this today is because I want to share a little bit of my insecurities as well as the incisions that I had from my surgery. So let's kick this off. We are going to talk about bariatric surgery. This is weight loss surgery. It's what led me to complete my goal, be at the healthy weight per se, because I'm not happy where I'm currently at with my weight, and we'll get there. But overall, I've reached my goal, my labs are good, and I have energy, and so on and so forth. So there's a couple of different ones. We have the sleeve, the gastric bypass, which is the one I had, a duodenal switch, and then back in the day, they used to do what was called a gastric band, where they would go and put a band on your stomach, and nowadays they can adjust it to where they bring the band back up, but most doctors, or surgeons I should say, don't care for this method anymore because it's got too much revisions. So you'll see a lot of surgeons just completely phase that out. Now let's talk, I'm going to compare the two of gastric bypass and the sleeve, because the sleeve is a really popular option. One, because it tends to be the one that's mostly covered by insurances, and also the cheapest option. And the gastric bypass, which I had. I am going to bring out my friend here. Yes, this is an egg that you cook with, that came from a chicken. I bring this out because this is the size of my stomach. For comparison, sticky notes, this is the size of my stomach. What they do is they go in, they take your current stomach, and they cut a small pouch that can fit 4 ounces of food total at a time. And what they do is they grab your small intestine, redirect it, and attach it to the small stomach that they just created for you. And it's rerouting the nutrients and the food through your small intestine. So before, it would go through my stomach, which was larger. It would go through all my intestines, process everything, and that's essentially how your body soaks up the nutrients and soaks up the calories. So you'll often hear me say that I don't refer to my calorie deficit as much because there's just no way that I'll ever meet those calories in a day. I think between me and my nutritionist, we established that a 1,200 calorie deficit a day. When I tell you, I maybe meet 700 of those calories in a day, and the majority of it comes from my coffee that I drink in the mornings. But other than that, I'm nowhere near meeting that. So when the food is being processed through my small intestine, I'm not soaking up those calories, but I'm also not soaking up those nutrients, which is also really important why you have to focus on protein and focus on the vegetables, because you're going to be soaking all these nutrients in that way, and as well as the vitamins and supplements, which is why I'm really heavy on the supplements. There's even a special line that's for bariatric patients on the vitamin spectrum that they're like calcium chewables, and you'll see a lot of bariatric patients can't do pills anymore because we have that small stomach. and things are kind of being forced down to fit into your small stomach, and things just kind of sit there until you are able to digest. And that's where we'll get into dumping syndrome. Not fun when we get to that part. About the sleeve. So the sleeve is actually, it's like your stomach almost cut in a quarter, so it looks like a banana, but you're still processing normal. So you can actually gain your weight back, and it takes longer for you to lose the weight initially. So what made me want to go the gastric bypass route, one, the surgery is not cheap no matter which route you decide to take. And I never wanted to go back to where I was at my 280. So I decided, hey, if I qualify for gastric bypass, that's the route that I'm going to take. Because I know myself, I don't always hold myself accountable, and I'm not always consistent. So I wanted to just like cut any opportunity from the get-go. So that's why I went the gastric bypass route. Now, they say you can lose anywhere from 60 to 80% of your weight loss, right? Of your fat. And I mean, to me, that sounded like, soul, let's do it. And I believe you have to have a certain BMI. I mean, I was severely overweight. I am 5'3". I was weighing at 280. At the day of surgery, I was at 257. So I was well in the 40 BMI range. So I definitely qualified for it. And I had originally gone to a surgeon here in the US, and I was quoted just a crazy amount at $25,000. That was with insurance. And I just jaw dropped, couldn't do it. So a family friend was like, oh, I went to Tijuana, Mexico with Dr. Garcia, and they are Tijuana Bariatric Center. A lot of people may be like, oh, you're going to Tijuana, Mexico? Like, that's a little bit scary. When I tell you, I have never felt more safe. I felt like the hospitals were cleaner in Mexico versus the US. I mean, I had a baby in the US. Not that I'm saying I wasn't taken care of, but just the process of going through surgery in Mexico, I felt way better, way safer, and cleaner at that. So I flew into San Diego. They had a whole service. They came and picked me up, brought me to the hotel. Then they later picked me up from there, took me to the hospital, did my labs, got me checked in, and I had surgery the following day. And they take more severe cases first. Since I'm young, my whole situation of being overweight is I just had a bad relationship with food. And so my case was more towards the end of the day, which downfall is you are on a liquid diet. Day of, you are on a absolutely no foods, no liquid diet. So that was a little bit harder. But when it came to the actual surgery itself, I was under anesthesia. I was in and out. I don't remember a darn thing about it until I woke up. And they brought me back to the room after I recovered, woke up from anesthesia. And I just felt like things went really smooth. I never had any complications. I was in the hospital for 2 days. Then they have you walking around. I mean, day of, I was up and walking. And I mean, that's what they want. They want you walking around. I had no complications whatsoever. Got up, started walking around, and was there for 2 days. And they transport you back to the hotel room, and you recovered there for 3 more days, and then flew back to Texas. It was great, super simple, never had any issues, and even my recovery here in the US, I was fine. I will say, not even the recovery was painful. What was painful is the trapped gas. The gas buildup from anesthesia. It's not necessarily from the food, because you're still on a liquid diet for about 2 weeks during recovery. And I think I had more pain with the liquid diet than I did with actually the recovery. Now the gases would get trapped. And again, I mean, it's not from digestion, it's literally from the anesthesia, and they warn you about this. That I think was the most painful part. The incisions never hurt, and the recovery on the incisions were super quick. I felt like in a week they're already shed and healing and almost scarring. And let's get to the point while we're here. So I have one incision here, super small, can barely see it. I have another here, and I have one more small one right here. Again, all the loose skin, so I do have to pull it so that you're actually able to see it. But I mean, other than applying vitamin E oil, that's all I have there. Maybe in the hopes that when I have skin removal surgery, whenever that day comes, and if it comes, I may not have that there anymore. But I mean, it was just the recovery process alone. I think that's what I was more scared of. Super, super simple in itself. Again, my whole journey, I started at 280. By the time I had surgery, I was at 257. March 25th, March 2025, I reached 180 pounds. I lost 77 pounds from surgery date to March. So what is that, a little under 6 months, like maybe 5 months? And then in June 2025, I reached my personal goal of 150. I always said I wanted to be at 150, to be healthy, to be within my it wasn't even with my BMI, because my BMI is 130. Now, 150 was just a personal goal. Like, that's out of high school. That's what I was, kind of weighing. So was the goal. I reached that in June of 2025. October of 2025, I reached my BMI goal, which is my healthy goal. And that was at 130. And currently today, I'm at 120. Again, I am in a high stress level life currently. So me trying to keep that weight up, I've been struggling. I would like to be at 125. If I can range from 125 to 130, that would be my ideal goal. Currently, I'm at that 120. I've been upping my protein. I've been weight training to help boost that up. I sometimes get to 122, but I'm confident that there's going to be one day in time that I get there. Let's talk side effects. So I wear my hair natural for y'all today, so y'all can see its natural state. I have lost so much hair. Other than body dysmorphia with trying to get used to the loose skin, trying to get used to not being 280 anymore, and all that, because my total from 280 to now, a total weight loss of 160 pounds. From surgery weight to now is 137 pounds. So I have to be easy on myself that I do have the loose skin. It is going to be there. Either we hit the gym and work it out that way, which y'all, I have some muscle definition. Be kind. I'm proud of myself. Because before it was nothing. It was fat, it was flab. So now that I have somewhat of a curve, I am proud of myself. Even if it's just a little bit. I do have this loose skin. And it's either you hit the gym and work it out that way, or go get the skin removal. Skin removal costs money. So I'm trying a different route before we hit that route. So body dysmorphia, the hair loss. When I tell you I have lost so much hair, I have lost so much hair. But if you stick to your vitamins, your hair tends to grow. And my dad jokingly used to always say, because I would always change hair colors, you're gonna lose your hair all one day. I said, that's okay, that's what wigs and extensions are for. Well, guess what? That day has come. I do wear extensions. I don't wear wigs. I don't have the skill to put them on, but I do wear extensions. I'll clip them in and whatever the case is. I mean, so that's one way to go around things. If there's a will, there's a way. I have a great hairstylist who colors my hair, and maybe one day we get her on here and she talks extensions with us if you ever want to get those sewn in. But there's a will, there's a way. Other than that, you know, we have to keep in mind that bariatric surgery, weight loss surgery, is a tool. It's not a fix. You still have to meet your protein goals, your fiber goals, your, in some cases, calorie deficits, carb deficits. You have to meet those macros. It's the umbrella of macros. You have to meet them because you're not going to lose the weight constantly on your own if you're out there eating whatever your heart desires. I mean, it's okay at times, right? No one is saying that you'll never be able to eat a chocolate bar ever again. No one is stating that. It's just, let's be smarter with it. Meet your protein goal. Did you meet your protein goal for the day? Okay, indulge in the little piece of chocolate. Don't go crazy, but have a bite of it. Eat half of it. Eat a quarter of it. Whatever your heart desires. I posted the other day about, I went to the gym. I had a slice of tres leches cake. When I tell you I will eat off of a piece of a tres leches cake for days, I will literally eat off of it for days. I will just take little bites here and there. So it happens. You crave it, and there's nothing wrong with that. It is okay to crave that. Like I said, my calories come from my coffee, from my sweet tea. That's where my calories are coming from. And it's okay. We're human at the end of the day. But those are, another side effect, of course, is the gas pains. Those are severe. I get them till this day. We're adults. Let's talk about it. Gas relief, taking like pills. I've heard that there's strips, which I'm going to look into getting the strips because the pills are pretty big and they are hard to swallow. So I'm going to look into Gas X strips. It's a risky run, and that's why it's so important to have high fiber in your diet so that you can help process this. Greens have been a lifesaver for me when I'm feeling like, hey, I'm backed up, my stomach is hurting. I will drink my greens or my probiotics, prebiotics, and it tends to work itself out. That is a huge side effect, and you have to keep that in mind. Now, for bypass patients, as myself, you can't ever take ibuprofen again. When I was told that, that was like Jesus, like I rely on that. So Tylenol is going to be your best friend. You have to rule out ibuprofen because it does something to your stomach lining that it can actually like tear a hole in it. That terrified me enough to why I will never do it. Carbonation, they tell you, is like a no-go, which is fine for me because I needed to learn to let go of the soda anyways. And with a soda, it's all carbonation. It's all sugar. Whether it's sugar-free, Coke Zero, I gave it up just completely because, as I stated, that was my drug of choice. I loved soda. And I gave that up. I gave up carbonation all together. So sweet tea and like lemonade is my go-to if I want a sugary drink. Dumping syndrome. Now that is serious. I will feel full, and I know I'm full, but the mentality, because I was obese for a good part of my life, right? So the mentality of breaking that of, okay, I'm full, put the food aside. No, when I told you I would keep going when I was obese, like I would keep going until like, I just felt like I couldn't move. That's when I would finally stop eating. Now I kind of do, you learn what your cues are. Either your nose starts to run, you have one heavy last breath, and that's like my cue is stop eating, you're full. Now I will tell you this, if you go for that last bite after you did your heavy breathing, just because you know, oh, it's just one bite, it's not gonna hurt, don't do it. I will instantly throw up every single time. And again, it's a mentality thing. I have not learned to say, hey girl, you fool, stop. I will keep going. And I can't tell you how many times I have done it and I throw up. French fries, I can't do like a regular potato French fry. I will instantly throw that up. Rice. Y'all, I am Mexican. You know, as Mexicans, love our rice. I love rice. I love a good Mexican rice. I can no longer do rice. I will instantly, like if I do too much of it, like literally 2 spoonfuls of it, I will instantly throw it up. Because what it is, it's going into your system and it expands. Just how a grain of rice, when you cook it, expands, you gotta imagine once it hits that stomach acid, it expands even more. So if you can only fit like 1 ounce of food at a time in your stomach before you can put another ounce of your food, you're taking up the majority of your stomach, and it's going to instantly cause any other fluids or food to come back up. So I've learned that if I'm going to eat rice, it can only be rice. But you're affecting your deficiency in that. So like your protein, you now no longer have room for protein. So your nutrients, you're getting nothing other than carbs. So it's a good thing to keep in mind, like replacing with healthier carbs. So for example, sweet potatoes is my absolute favorite. I can eat a sweet potato fry. Boy, will I eat a sweet potato fry. I've replaced that as my healthy carb instead of like rice or, now I love pasta, don't get me wrong. And I've opted for gluten-free pasta. I've noticed that after my surgery, I am really gluten intolerant. And we all laugh because like, what is gluten? And it has to do with the types of flour that you use. Now, if I use a gluten-free pasta or a pasta that is made from real Italian flour, and I think you pronounce it semolina, I can eat that and my body can process it. Just like same with bread. I can eat sourdough bread, my body would process it. I can eat gluten-free bread and I can process it. But now as far as like plain white bread, I have to be really careful with it. I gotta eat it in episodes. Wheat bread can easily digest that. But everyone's different. And when I say everybody is different, everybody is different. So everyone's gonna process things differently. I became gluten intolerant. I can handle certain flours as long as they're the right kind of flour that my body can process. So you will learn this along the way. I have heard that some people can handle carbonation. Just be honest, I'm too scared to try it, so I haven't tried it. I gave up alcohol, I want to say I'm going on 3 years, just by preference, not because of addiction or anything like that. It was just for preference reasons. And so I had no issue letting alcohol go with bariatrics. I have heard that people struggle with this. Like, you mean I'll never be able to have alcohol ever again? Now, if you had the sleeve, I hear that people tend to handle that a little bit better. Now, people who have bypass, I hear that you can literally take a sip of alcohol and you are done, like drunk, no more. And I have heard that some people can have 1 whole beer and they're fine. Again, that's not my cup of tea, so I can't really advise you on how you're gonna feel about that. I've heard different stories. But the biggest thing is the calorie absorption and the reduce of food intake, which is not a bad thing, but that's how you're able to lose the weight. I will say it has definitely increased my self-esteem. Other things took my self-esteem away, but for sure my weight did. And I finally knew, like, after losing this weight, I created more of like self-confidence in the gym. I used to be embarrassed to go into the gym because I was scared that people were going to look at me and be like, what is this girl doing in the gym? Like, what is she going to do? And now when I go in, I feel a little bit more confident because I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm on the spectrum with everybody else that goes here. Not that I'm built with muscle or know what I'm doing, because Lord knows I don't know what I'm doing. I just watch videos and go in and try to do them. So when I say I am not a fitness guru, please don't ever take me as a fitness guru, because I'll be the first to admit that I am not. I can just share with you what my experience is and take it as that. Now, I am going to say this. Someone once told me that I cheated because of losing the weight. I went through surgery instead of losing it on my own. I will tell you this. You are not cheating. And don't ever let anybody tell you that you are cheating. One, it is very costly if your insurance does not cover it. Two, you are doing the work, whether people like to see it or not. You have to change your lifestyle if you're going to do this. No more alcohol, no more soda, no more high sugars, no more all you can eat rice, all you can eat pasta, all you can eat carbs. Like, that is no longer the case. You have to pick and choose what are you going to indulge in, because it will either make you sick, it can make you throw up, it can... When I tell you don't want to have dumping syndrome, you do not want to have dumping syndrome. It will happen to you at least one time or another. So don't ever let anyone think that you cheated, because you still have to work out if you want to continue to lose the weight. You still have to eat right. You have to, whether you want to do clean ingredients or don't do clean ingredients, you're still making a choice on eating healthier. And you're taking all the right steps to go that route. So I'll never hold it against that person, because at the end of the day, I know what I am doing. I know what I am changing. And as long as you know that this is a tool, you know that this is a tool. I do have a couple of questions. I didn't have much because I think people may feel a little bit intimidated because they don't know as much on this, which is fine. So one question was, would I recommend the surgery? Yes, absolutely. It's what made me reach my goal. So my answer to that is yes, do it. If you have the means, if you qualify for it, if your insurance qualifies for it, if you have the money to do it, I most absolutely, yes, recommend it. Two, what has been the hardest thing for me? I think the hardest thing was the body dysmorphia. Your body goes through a lot of changes. You know, I thought my body went through changes when I had my son. No, like, I think my body went through more changes this way, because you are losing weight. You do have a lot of loose skin, and most people would be like, oh, that's such a good thing to have. Yes, it is, until you experience it yourself. And you're like, okay, this is a lot of loose skin. What can I do? The hair loss was another thing, because I was always so big on the luscious, curly, thick hair that I have struggled with. Another thing was just the mentality of giving up certain things that I really liked. But again, that's, if you are not ready to make a lifestyle change, then don't do the surgery. You can't go into this saying that this is going to fix everything for you, because it's not. It's literally a tool to point you in the right direction. You still have to do the work to get there. So in that aspect, if you don't want to make a lifestyle change, I do not recommend the surgery. And just one thing to give a piece of advice is find the right doctor and the right surgeon, the right clinic, whether it's here in the US or if it's in another country. Find the right person for you. I went to 3 different doctors, and of course the last one is the one that I decided to go with. And be prepared. There are some doctors here in the US that are not going to be happy that you went to another country and got the surgery. They will try to make comments here and there. But at the end of the day, are your labs good? Yes. Did you heal correctly? Yes. So as long as that you feel like confident in saying yes to all these, you will be fine. But gosh, there's just so much to cover in just such a little bit of time. So if you have further questions for the bariatric surgery, how it may affect you, feel free to leave me a comment. I can respond. You can send me a private message if you don't want your business out there, and I can definitely respond back to you. Now, today I have a word of affirmation as our closing. I do have a sweet friend. She owns a business called Emperor Designs. She created the cutest stationery for me. Even like my own to-do list, my own sticky notes, y'all. She personalized my own sticky notes for me. And she also made me the cutest pen. But to top it off, she made me these sticky notes that have words of affirmation. So today, I want to go ahead and get this out there. I will tag her in my Instagram post, and so y'all can go order some really cool stationery from her. But today's word of affirmation is, you're not behind, you're building. So when you feel that you're behind on your weight loss journey, you feel stuck, plateau because you haven't lost any more weight, just remember, you're not behind from me. You're not behind from the person that you are doing this journey with. You are building. You are learning your lessons. You are learning what works for you. You are learning what doesn't work for you. So don't be hard on yourself. And if I can give you anything, do measurements in your weight loss journey, because you're not always going to see it on the scale, but I can almost guarantee you, you will see it on your measurements. And I said it last time, you will lose weight in your head, you will lose weight in your feet, you will lose weight in your arms, your face, neck. You literally lose weight in inches everywhere. You just don't realize it because you're too busy paying attention to the scale. And also, small wins are when you start to see your labs increase from your last doctor's visit. So also take that as a win. I hope all of you have a good week. I can't wait to see you on the following episode. I'm not 100% sure. I have like 3 different topics I would like to hit. If there's something specific that you really want to hear about, drop them in the comments. I would be more than glad to consider those as the next topic. But I'm toying with a couple of things. If I want to continue the weight loss journey for the 3rd episode, technically 4th episode, if I want to take it that route, or if I want to take it like maybe some mental health, because I've been dealing a lot with that lately, or if I want to take it the route of something more fun, talking about clothes, talking about skincare. So let me know. All right. But other than that, y'all have yourself a good week, and I will see you the following week. Bye.
Bow down, world, and see my reign. For